Hi everyone, welcome to another video review. Today we're reviewing Returnal. Now, remember, reviews are just opinions, so this is just my opinion, but I always love to hear your opinions in the comments, so please let me know what you think of Returnal and what you think of my thoughts on Returnal in the comment section. I would appreciate that. If you don't know me, my name's Delilah, aka ASSASSINA-san. Welcome to my channel, and if you've been here, thank you so much and welcome back. It is such a breath of fresh air to see a AAA game release exclusive to PlayStation that doesn't fall into the same formula that we often see. You know, those over-the-shoulder, cinematic, action-adventure type games that are probably going to be Game of the Year, which is cool. I love that shit, don't get me wrong, but it's just nice to see something a little bit different from that formula. Housemarque provided a new experience that mashes up a variety of different types of gameplay in a way that I've never seen before. It's a gorgeous cosmic horror that has the same DNA from games like Metroid, Control, and even Housemarque's own Resogun. This combination of gameplay makes Returnal one of the more unique experiences I've had in a while, and it's thus far my game of the year. So you play as Celine Vassos, who crash lands on a planet Atropos, a planet full of hostile aliens. She seeks to find the signal of the White Shadow, but then discovers the body of a dead scout. That dead scout is herself. Thus begins the time loop of death and returning, a concept woven into the narrative and bashed over your head within the gameplay. If you don't initially grasp this endless dread that Celine is experiencing in this time loop, you definitely will at some point when going through the 6 biomes in this game. And each biome is distinct. They vary from dark and lush with bioluminescent organisms, there's open crimson deserts, ancient towers, large fortresses, snow and ice caverns, and a murky underwater landscape. But you won't have that much time to enjoy these gorgeous environments because you'll constantly be running, jumping, and dashing to survive waves of hostile aliens. But thankfully, whenever you enter a new biome, the camera pans around to give you a nice sense of its beauty before you go through the endless loop of death. So enjoy these rare quiet moments while you can. So as I mentioned before, there's so much DNA of other games in Returnal, and it mashes up these gameplay elements together, making it an extremely satisfying and unique gameplay loop. So let's organize this a bit. It's like Metroid because there's a lot of backtracking, so through progression you'll unlock an energy sword, a grappling hook, and the ability to walk underwater. These items will give you access to different areas in earlier biomes that you couldn't access before. So you're really not gonna get to explore every nook and cranny of all the biomes until after you beat the game, but damn, it feels good to be able to access every single item towards the end. I mentioned Control, and that's pretty much just the gunplay and movement are very similar. You have infinite ammo, and when the clip is empty, it reloads automatically. Resogun, which is also created by Housemarque, is a shoot 'em up game with bullet hell. So basically, enemies in Returnal will be shooting out balls, lasers, and explosives that you'll need to avoid, and then it gets worse with bosses. And I'll also say Nier, and that might be because I've recently played Nier, so it's fresh in my memory, but it did remind me of the bullet hell that happened in Nier, along with the genre bending. So Nier had hack and slash, and Returnal has third-person shooting, but they both have this bullet hell. But of course, Returnal's a lot harder than Nier, so in that way they're very different, but just the genre bending aspect reminded me a lot of Nier. And it's also a roguelike, so basically every time you die, you will lose all your weapons and upgrades, and then you start from the first biome, and then the whole layout of the biome is completely random. But there are some permanent upgrades that you can earn through your progression so that it doesn't feel like a complete waste of time. Now, I'm not gonna say that Returnal is like Dark Souls. It's not a Souls-like, it's a roguelike, like I just said. But it is one of the few games alongside Souls games that gives you that jolt of satisfaction and euphoria when you beat a boss and can move on to the next area. Except this game is a little bit worse because it's not just based on practice and skill and trial and error, it's also based on luck and RNG. This combination of unforgiving combat mixed with roguelike elements makes this one of the more difficult games that I've played. It's one thing to go through a run for an hour and then die because you made a mistake. It's another thing to go through a biome for an hour and die because you didn't get any of the upgrades or weapons that help you. For this reason, I cannot recommend this game to everyone. But if you are the type of player who likes a challenge, you don't mind dying over and over again, you'll definitely enjoy Returnal. In fact, it'll make you feel very satisfied getting through the game. Just keep in mind that when you think you've mastered a group of enemies or you've mastered a specific weapon, your next run might have a completely different group of enemies, or you might not get that weapon that you're really comfortable with. And because the biome layouts are so random, there's some runs that lasted me 20 minutes and others over an hour. So Returnal isn't just difficult, it's freaking random. But not every upgrade is completely temporary. For instance, once you pick up an artifact or a consumable, you have an increased chance for it to drop again. There are also some permanent attributes that carry over through the entire game. So if there's a specific type of gun that you like and you use it long enough, you will permanently keep their upgraded perks, and when you pick it up again for the new run, those perks will be attached to that gun. But just remember, there's no guarantee that the gun will drop on that new run. Within my first few hours of the game, I was a bit confused when managing my items and learning about the upgrade systems because the game doesn't teach you about them too well. There are a variety of artifacts, weapons, parasites, consumables, and upgrade systems. When you encounter any of these, you'll get a brief description of what it is, but not necessarily how to use it effectively. And on top of this, every single item has super advanced scientific names, making it difficult to remember what does what. For example, silphium and inert reclaimers are items used for healing. Don't worry, it's not as dense as it sounds. I definitely picked up on it quicker than I thought I would when I was first introduced to these systems. But no worries, you can always pull up your menu and go to the databank and equipment to learn more about the items that you picked up if you're really confused. What makes navigating these items more challenging than I explained is many of them have a chance to be malignant, which means they have this purple aura around them, and if you pick them up, they have a chance to harm you or cause a malfunction to your suit. A malfunction is just a status effect where, for example, you won't be able to dash or you'll take 50% more damage when in the air, something like that. And you can only fix these malfunctions by doing certain tasks, for example, killing 10 enemies or picking up items or even opening chests. The malfunctions are completely random, so you don't know what status effects you're gonna get, you don't know what the tasks are gonna be to fix the malfunctions, it's all completely random. So you're basically taking a gamble if you're picking up a malignant item, and trust me, there are a lot of malignant items in this game. There are some consumable items that you can find that will clear all malfunctions, but because this game is RNG based, you may not see that consumable when you need it, you may not even see it when you don't need it. It may not pop up for a long time. Healing items and parasites are likely to have both positive and negative effects. For example, a parasite will give you the option to revive upon death, but then you'll be inflicted with severe malfunctions. You'll spend a chunk of time in this game deciding if it's worth taking a risk, picking up a malignant item, wasting your ether to cleanse it so that you don't get the probability of receiving those negative effects, or just leaving it alone and moving on. Thankfully, there are items in this game that only have positive effects, such as artifacts, green silphium, ether, and consumables. What kept me returning to this game despite getting beat down so many times is just how satisfying the gameplay loop is. The gunplay and movement are so smooth. And clearing out a room littered with hostiles so that you can go around and pick up any upgrades or healing items is very satisfying. And then beating a boss so that you can finally move on to the next biome will make you scream in joy. It's also the next exclusive game on the PS5 since Astro's Playroom that uses the DualSense's haptic feedback and adaptive triggers in a meaningful way. When you're standing around, not in combat, everything's chill, you can feel the rain on your controller as if the drops are hitting it. And then of course during gunplay, you can feel the resistance of the triggers depending on what gun you have, and even the alt fire will yell at you when it's ready for use. The DualSense features absolutely add a level of immersion to Returnal that wouldn't otherwise be there. I know I'm talking so much about gameplay, but honestly, that's the main charm of Returnal. There is a narrative thread, but it's often cryptic and unclear.
I need to keep going.
After you complete a biome, you'll be given access to this 20th century house that feels like an eerie horror section. What this house is doing in the middle of an alien planet is beyond me. But exploring this house and watching the cutscenes were a nice change of pace, but they didn't help me understand what was going on any more than I did when I first started the game. Even after rolling credits, I had so many questions and doubted my own assessment of what was going on in this game. Part of that is because a lot of information is revealed through data logs. The other part of it is because the true ending is only accessible after picking up items after you roll credits and replaying the last boss. The biggest takeaway from this story is I think I was supposed to be confused because Celine was confused. Therefore, as the player, I can only join Celine in her roller coaster of sadness, determination, loneliness, and confusion. Supplementing Celine's dread, the intense gameplay, and the eerie environments is this combination of like synthwave, electronic, and ambient music. The music score is composed by Bobby Krillick, I'm so sorry if I'm saying that wrong, aka the Haxon Cloak, and it added so much intensity to this game, especially during some of those boss fights. It's incredible.
I no longer wish to remember.
Even though I enjoyed every single moment of rage and then satisfaction that Returnal put me through, I totally understand that there are so many other players out there who don't want to put themselves through that. There's gonna be so many people that when they play the first few hours of this game, they're gonna be absolutely enamored with the smooth gunplay and movement, but then be turned off when they keep getting beaten down over and over again, and returning over and over again. And you'll constantly be overwhelmed by lasers, bullets, explosion, and tentacles, and no, this isn't a hentai. And it's not like these enemies take away a little bit of health. Each enemy slash or laser or bullet will take away a big chunk of your health. You'll be in the red pretty quickly if you're not careful. I'm not one of those people begging for save points, as I think it would absolutely dilute the satisfaction and rewarding feeling when you get through this game. But I do absolutely wish that some things were a little less RNG based. For example, it would have been pretty cool that when a weapon drops from an enemy or from a chest, that it opens up a weapon wheel where you can choose from a variety of weapons instead of hoping that your favorite weapon drops. And there are some shitty guns in this game. I mean, I don't even know why shotguns are in this game when the game pretty much encourages you to keep your distance. It doesn't make any sense, but I don't know. If you like the shotgun, let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. I think adding a system where people can choose from a variety of weapons and items would alleviate some of the pressure that players feel without changing the core of the gameplay. Either way, I look forward to playing more Returnal so that I can listen to all the data logs and platinum it. But it does bother me that even collectibles are RNG based, so you may go through an entire biome and never find the collectible that you're missing. You may find the same ones over and over again, and that drives me to the wall. I don't even know if the platinum's worth it, but I'm gonna try. And it's not like after beating the game, everything becomes easier where you can just maul your way through enemies. No, it's still pretty challenging regardless. The combination of amazing music, satisfying gameplay, gorgeous visuals, and cryptic storytelling made my time with Returnal worthwhile. But these elements alone aren't what makes Returnal my game of the year thus far. What makes it my game of the year is I've never played anything like it before. It's this mashing up of gameplay from various genres and games that I absolutely adore that makes it such a refreshing and standout experience. And it's adding more variety to the PlayStation exclusive catalog. Moreover, Returnal absolutely takes advantage of the PS5's new technology, making it feel new generation. And while I can see Resogun DNA in this game, Returnal is a complete leap and bound for Housemarque. They're definitely stepping it up, and I'm so excited to see what their next game's gonna be. I'm so happy that Housemarque joined PlayStation, and I'm hoping that Celine becomes part of the PlayStation mascot roster. Anyway, thank you so much for watching and listening. I always appreciate your time and look forward to chatting with you guys about Returnal and hearing your thoughts on my review, especially if you disagree with me. And as always, the most important thing is that you guys take care of yourselves.